So let's talk about S-hooks. I like S-hooks because my name is Stephanie, and S-hook is very similar to how my name starts. But also it's really, really easy. It's also really easy to make. So what we have here is our tiny baby anvil. And you can pick these up at any jewelry store. And it's just really, really perfect for doing any kind of hammering techniques for your wire. We want it because it's a super flat surface, and it also won't leave any impressions or marks on your wire. To match that, I have this tiny little hammer that is also perfect for jewelry hammer. It's called a chasing hammer. And again, they're pretty much available in most craft stores or jewelry stores. So before I even show you the technique, I'm just going to show you a little bit how to hammer everything. Takes a little bit of pressure to get it flat. Now, we want to hammer our metal when we're doing clasps and other kinds of finishing pieces because it actually makes it stronger. And tension is where, right here, where we're going to clasp and shut our bracelets is going to have the most tension, and we want to make sure it has the most strong pieces there. So I'm just going to show you the difference between our perfectly round wire and then our flat wire and how it should look. So let's create that S-hook that I love so much. Before we hammer it, we're just going to make it on our regular wire, and then we'll add the hammering technique later. I'm taking our smallest pliers that we got, and I'm just going to loop it. Make a tiny, tiny loop. You might even need to be tinier than that. And I'm going to switch to our medium-sized pliers. And I'm holding the loop that we just created facing downward. Notice that I made a bigger loop. One side is very much smaller than the other, and this side is the long loopy part. To finish it off, we're going to just make a tiny little S part right here on the edge. So we got some more magical internet magic for you guys, and they are now complete. As you can see, one is longer than the other. We want two similar shapes. One looks more like an S for Stephanie, and one looks more like a U for you? I don't know. I haven't decided a funny little tidbit for that one just yet. But I'm going to both put them on my anvil just like so. And I'm just going to go ahead. I think I'm just going to do one at a time. But just go ahead and I'm going to hammer them down flat. Be careful of your fingers, of course, before we start. If you want to wear gloves, go ahead and wear gloves. I'm just doing a section at a time to make sure that my hands are not getting in the way of it, and that's okay. Just take your time. And then I'm going to flip it to where it's already been hammered down. That's a good place to brace, put my finger to brace everything. All right, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this came out. The texture is different, and it's going to be a lot stronger for holding your piece together. So go ahead and repeat this process with our U shape. Okay, so when you're completed, you may have noticed that your little clasps here may have spread out because we were hammering the metal and it all kind of spread out there. So we can go ahead and just adjust it with our pliers. Try to get it back to its original shape here. There we go. So what I've decided to do is take out some more of our medium jump rings. Taking out 4. And I'm sure you can guess what we're going to do next. We're going to attach them to these little hooks that we made. And then from these jump rings, we will attach our lovely clasps we just made. And then it'll be time to celebrate because then we will be done. All right, after that, as you can see, we have our little jump rings here. So when we're finished, the clasps should tie like this. They should tie together. I don't know if you want to get a shot of that. So think about that when putting it on your jewelry. Make sure that they line up correctly. So they'll hook together, intertwined. So I'm just going to take this one side, the longer side of our S, bending it out. You may notice that this wire is a little bit more sturdier and a little bit trickier to deal with. And that's good because we want it to be secure for our jewelry piece. And then I just sandwiched it in. I like using the jump rings because I use my wrists a lot to talk, which I'm sure you've noticed, and I want all of my jewelry pieces to be flexible and move a little bit with me. So now I'm just visualizing where our other side of our clasp is going to go, so I'm just going to pretend like I'm looping it together. So I just went ahead and just put it in there like that, and I can see that this side is the one that needs to be attached. They look kind of similar, so I wanted to try it out before I start playing around with it. Ooh, there we go. Just opening that one up, and then I'm going to insert it into our jump rings. Next up, I'm just going to finish up by making sure that my jewelry piece is still in that crescent moon shape. Because we've been bending and working with it for a little bit, so I just want to kind of make sure we're still on track. Okay, moment of truth, let's try it out. First thing I'm going to do is put on my ring. I find this is a lot easier to have this on first before you put on the bracelet. And then we're just going to clasp it through. And voila, you've completed another jewelry project, and I'm so proud of you. It's going to look so awesome. Like I said before, you can go ahead and adjust your chains as you want. I'm going to need mine a little bit longer because I want to dance and move and shake in this one. So let's wrap up. What did we learn today? We learned a different type of braiding technique, how to make a clasp. We hammered our metal, and made a bead into a bead link, and we inserted our jump rings and made them into a chain. We learned a lot. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you had so much fun. I know I did. And I'd love to see the projects that you create by using my little workshop here. Thanks so much for tuning in. I have my friend Kathy Milligan right here. You're going to walk us through some awesome new tutorials. We're going to do a pendant and earring set.